Replayability is a big part of video games. Sure, you could have an absolutely incredible, well-made, and well-polished game, but if it takes an hour to beat and has no reason to play it again, people aren't going to pay very much for it. Luckily, in most cases, replayability isn't a difficult thing to implement into your game. It really comes down to variety. Some genres are built to support variety out of the box, with procedurally generated rooms, structures, or even entire worlds. If the layout of a level is completely random every time you play, you've got a lot to explore. Player versus player games also do variety really well. After enough time, you can start predicting what an AI is going to do, but by facing off with other players, there's far more variety and strategy involved. You're going to have to adapt to how your opponent plays. A platformer is an easy fix too. Just add branching paths and let the player go crazy with it. Hide secrets around the place. Encourage exploration. My point is, it's not hard to make a game replayable, at least in most cases. If you're going for one specific genre, you're going to have a much harder time. I'm talking about puzzle games. You see, puzzle games have way less to work with when it comes to variety. In most cases, each level will only have one solution. Solving a puzzle the second time is never as satisfying as solving it the first time. Once you know how all the components work, you've got nothing more to learn. This is no fault of the game's designers. It's a flaw with puzzle games that's almost unfixable. Almost. There is one puzzle game in particular that, unlike most other puzzle games, is so very replayable. You can enjoy its main campaign, solve entirely new puzzles, and challenge yourself on puzzles you already know, even over 10 years later. I'm talking about the one, the only, Portal 2. I was going to have a joke here where I faked you out with another game, but I couldn't think of a game that works there, so I'm just getting straight to the point. Portal 2. It's a masterpiece. It took everything from the original Portal and made it even better. It's more visually pleasing, has more interesting mechanics, but most importantly, it has way more replayability. Today, I want to dive into what makes Portal 2 so fun to play again and again and again. Hello everybody, my name is Skit. I'll be your test chamber supervisor for today, and without further ado, let us begin. Before we begin, I want to give a brief overview of what the Portal games are. There's a timestamp on the screen should you want to jump straight into the game design study. I'll try not to spoil too much in this video, but there will be some footage from later parts of the game, so if you haven't played yet, literally, what are you doing? Go play the games now, they're incredible. Portal is a physics-based puzzle game made by Valve and released in 2007, with Portal 2, our main focus for today's video, being released in 2011. It's a simple concept. You're a test subject in Aperture Science's computer-aided enrichment center, and have to solve puzzles using different pieces of reality-bending equipment, all while under the watch of the sadistic AI, genetic lifeform, and disk operating system, better known as GLaDOS. The most notable piece of equipment in this game is your portal gun, a gun that can link two different locations on the map, and is essential to you both solving puzzles and escaping the facility. There's a lot to praise about this game, from its graphics, to its mechanics, to its writing, so seriously, go play it now if you haven't already. So, you've completed the full single player campaign and every co-op test present. That's it, right? I mean, you've solved all the puzzles, so is there really any reason to play again? Well, first off, yeah, there is reason to play again. That's literally the point of this video. And secondly, you've actually got plenty more puzzles to solve. You've just got to look for them. As I stated before, randomly generating a room layout is great for many games, in particular roguelikes or roguelites. It means that you can have multiple thousands, possibly even millions of level layouts, and you're unlikely to see the same one twice ever. Unfortunately, doing this for a puzzle game is way too complicated. There's so much to consider with puzzles that writing an algorithm to construct a good puzzle for you is just not worth the effort. Every test chamber in Portal 2 was made by a human, so why bother changing that? Portal 2 has a really simple and ingenious method of creating infinite numbers of test chambers. It allows you to make your own. The level editor is very well made. Almost everything used in the main campaign is available to you here, and it's really intuitive to use and navigate. Once you're satisfied with your test chamber, you can publish it for anybody anywhere to play and enjoy. And guess what? Tons of other people are doing the same thing. This means there's practically infinite numbers of puzzles available for you to solve. You can kill so much time by completing other people's chambers, or by getting confused and not completing other people's chambers. Really, it's up to you. Speedrunning is awesome. People will pull off some of the most absurd stunts in gaming just to complete a level fractions of a second faster. I love watching speedruns from time to time, particularly speedruns of Celeste, which is a game I plan on covering at some point in the future, but I digress. My point is, you can make a puzzle game replayable by challenging how quickly a player can complete a puzzle. Portal 2 fully embraces this and gives you a challenge mode. In this challenge mode, you're able to jump between stages, you're given a speedrun timer, and even a portal counter, which adds yet another layer of challenge. By offering a built-in way to test how quickly you can complete a puzzle or how few portals you can do it in, players are encouraged to play again and challenge themselves further. The test chambers aren't just about, how do I complete this anymore? They're now about, what's the fastest route I can take? Or how few portals can I complete this puzzle in? Some people are absurdly good at this. I am not one of those people, but it's still satisfying for me to figure out a way to finish a chamber with a few less portals, or beat my best time by a hair, and I'm sure that many others would agree too. This one is for you completionists out there. Portal 2 has 51 achievements for you to unlock. These range from beating certain chapters of the game, or mastering mechanics, to finding secrets and beating set challenges. Like the challenge mode, this means you get to challenge yourself even further, and adds a whole new element of puzzle solving in some cases. There's an achievement for getting a cube onto a button without ever touching the cube, and one for smuggling the companion cube out of its chamber, among many others. It's a great way to give yourself a little extra to do, and it gives you something cool to show off to your friends. More games should do challenge achievements like these because they're so much fun. Sometimes, all you need to make a game replayable is for the game to be quality. It's for this very reason that we love watching movies over and over, or reading books over and over, even after we know all the twists and turns. Portal 2 is really well made. Even a decade later, it still holds up. The graphics are still awesome to look at, the soundtrack is super unique, and honestly one of my favorites ever, and the story, oh my god, the story. I don't know how Valve did it, but they made a game with semi-realistic graphics that still hold up over 10 years later. Despite the game looking very bare bones at times, it still manages to fit in some absolutely beautiful scenery. It's insane. You cannot look at this and tell me this isn't a cinematic shot. Look at this and tell me it's not. I dare you. The soundtrack is one of my favorite parts of the game, purely for its uniqueness. It's pretty different to its predecessor, but still works so well in the Portal universe. It's made using all these noises you'd expect to hear from an old computer, alarms, synth instruments, things like that. Except for those few parts that are either smooth jazz or classical music, because why the hell not? Let's change it up a little. Portal 2's story is absolutely incredible. I'm not going to spoil anything, seriously go play the game, but Valve's writers seriously outdid themselves with this one. Though, hey, it's Valve. That's to be expected. The jokes are hilarious, the twists are incredible, and there's enough story to make your second playthrough a blast, even if the gameplay isn't as satisfying as the first time. Because of all of these, you can juice a bit more out of the main campaign than a single run, and for a puzzle game, that can be a lot. I actually had a pretty hard time deciding what aspect of Portal 2 I wanted to make this video on, because there's so much about the game to love. Seriously, for the last time, play it if you haven't. If you like puzzle games, you'll love the Portal games. Seeing as you're still here, I'm guessing you enjoyed your stay, so feel free to like and subscribe. I've got a few more videos here if you want to see more like this. YouTube thinks you'll like this one in particular. Go give it a watch. Also, I've got a Discord server now. The link is in the description, so feel free to come on down and have a chat. That's all from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I'm telling them, keep your pants on.